A North Texas woman was arrested late last month on multiple child sexual abuse charges. This is 44-year-old Natalie Sorrells. She faces 2 counts of aggravated sexual assault of a child, as well as 2 counts of indecency with a child sexual contact. She was booked into the Rockwall County Jail on February 20th, but later released on a combined $150,000 bond, according to those jail records. The allegations of illicit sexual conduct with a minor came out of Heath, where Sorrells resides. She works as a real estate agent there in Rockwall and volunteers with youth at a Lake Point church. The church didn't want to comment on the matter, but tried to shelter a little bit by saying that she's barely involved there, which she volunteers there. Come on, guys. Well, let's hope she gets the max on whatever she can get here. See ya, Chomet. Todd Bledholt, a 55-year-old Slinger resident, was charged this week with 4 felonies and a misdemeanor for allegedly sexually assaulting a child at his residence and in his car multiple times in 2021 and again this year, 2024. Bledholt has been charged with 2 counts of second-degree sexual assault of a child, child enticement, sexual contact, trafficking of a child, and sexual intercourse with a child 16 or younger, actor 19 or older. If found guilty, Bledholt faces up to 145 years and 9 months imprisonment, as well as $410,000 in fines, or both. Additionally, Amy Carlson, the victim's mother, has a warrant out for her arrest on 4 felony charges regarding trafficking the victim, including second-degree sexual assault of a child, failure to act on a sexual assault of a child, child enticement, sexual contact, and benefit from trafficking of a child. The charges carry penalties upon conviction of 117 and a half years imprisonment, $325,000 in fines, or both. Bledholt, who is out on a $50,000 cash bond, will next appear in Washington County Circuit Court at 1:15 p.m. on April 3rd for a hearing. Law enforcement hasn't taken Carlson into custody yet. Let's go get that chomo. Let's head down to Florida for our next chomo. It's Broward County. An armed services veteran is facing jail time on some very serious allegations. Well, they're not allegations. He was sentenced. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, 49-year-old Edgar Ali Serta of Cooper City was sentenced to 42 months in federal prison, followed by 15 years of supervised release following his conviction on child sexual abuse material charges. Serta, who's a former lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army, was arrested in March of 21 after officers received information that he had some serious crap in his electronic devices. Then they went and found multiple images and videos depicting sexual exploitation of children under 12 years old, with one victim as young as 2. Authorities received a tip from the messaging app Kik that Serta was sharing these sexual abuse videos involving the children on their platform. They didn't like it too well. The complaint states that Serta claimed he was only sharing material in the Kik chat groups for around 2 months because he said it was something new, and that he deleted everything after he looked at it, and he stopped because the material began to get younger and younger. No excuse. He pled guilty in a Fort Lauderdale federal courtroom in December. See ya, federal chomo. Former Coal River volunteer firefighter William Lee Petrie, a 35-year-old, pleaded guilty to first-degree sexual assault, sexual abuse by parent, guardian, custodian, or person in a position of trust, and use of a minor in the production of child sexual abuse materials. Petrie faces up to 130 years in prison when he is sentenced May 6th in Raleigh Circuit Court by Judge Andrew G. Dimlich's courtroom. According to information provided by Raleigh County Prosecuting Attorney Ben Hatfield, during the hearing Wednesday before Dimlich, Petrie was found to be engaged in the sexual abuse of his 11-year-old stepdaughter between March of 23 and July of 23. The sexual abuse was discovered toward the end of July when a relative of the 11-year-old found a video on the child's cell phone of Petrie eliciting sexual acts from the child. Sick, Chomo. Can't wait till you're sentenced. Set up to Connecticut. This is Carlos Gomez. He was convicted of sexually assaulting 2 children under the age of 10, according to the New Haven State's attorney. Evidence at trial showed Gomez sexually assaulted 2 children under the age of 10 in the city of New Haven between 2007 and 2012. The 2 cases were joined for a consolidated trial before a jury, New Haven Superior Court, with the Honorable Elliot D. Prescott presiding. We are grateful to the Department of Children and Families and the Yale New Haven Hospital Child Abuse Clinic for their help in this case. The cases were investigated by Detective Christian Bruckhardt of the New Haven Police Department and prosecuted by Assistant State's Attorney Melissa R. Holmes, as well as Assistant State's Attorney Sarah E. Jones, with assistance from Inspector Kevin Grenier. We got to give these guys credit when they put these guys away. Sentencing was set for May 24th at New Haven Superior Court. Hope to see you for a long time in there, Chomo. A 45-year no-parole prison sentence has been slapped on a man caught on camera sexually assaulting an 11-year-old child. This is 42-year-old Chomo Nathaniel Lane of Garland, Texas. He was found guilty of continuous sexual abuse of a child. Lane was familiar with the victim and had been granted access to the child on multiple occasions. During one of those times in July of 22, he brought the child to a sleep study in Plano, where the abuse was recorded. After staff observed the assault, law enforcement was notified. Lane initially admitted to assaulting the victim during the sleep study and further confessed to multiple offenses over several months at his house. This heinous crime string has now been brought to an end with the recent court ruling. According to the official Collin County release, the jury delivered a verdict of guilt for Lane on a first-degree felony charge, which could carry a sentence between 9 and 99 years, or life in prison. Judge John Roach Jr. decreed the 45-year sentence for this here Chomo. See ya, Chomo. A Green Bay man has been officially charged after allegedly sexually assaulting a minor multiple times. A 10-year-old girl says 20-year-old Haziel Santos started sexually abusing her when she was just 5 years old by allowing her to use his phone in exchange for sexual favors. When asked, Santos said some events should have never happened. Santos said it happened at least 10 times, though. There's also another report that Santos might have exposed himself, maybe, to another person or two when they were around 12 to 13 years old, when the other victims were in elementary school. A sick Chomo here. He faces more than 80 years in prison and was charged with repeated acts of sexual assault to a child, child enticement, and exposing a child to harmful materials. He's been set with a $100,000 case bond and will return to court on May 1st for an adjourned initial appearance. Sickening people. A man was convicted of 2 sexual offenses involving a child and was sentenced to 90 years in prison following a 2-day trial, the Webb County District Attorney's Office said on Tuesday. A jury in the 111th District Court found Gustavo Bovier Hernandez guilty of aggravated sexual assault of a child, which is a first-degree felony, as well as possession of child sexual abuse material, a third-degree felony. After convicting Bovier Hernandez in 13 minutes, nice, the jury assessed a punishment of 80 years for the aggravated sexual assault, and another 10 they threw in there for the child sexual abuse charges. Nice. See ya, Chomo. Sycamore. A DeKalb man pled guilty this week to sexually assaulting a child and was sentenced by a DeKalb County judge to 20 years in prison, according to court records. This is 36-year-old Luke W. Hefner. He waived his right to a jury trial Monday and pled guilty to one count of predatory criminal sexual assault of a child and received his well-deserved 20 years. Should have been life. See ya, Chomo. A Lebanon man is behind bars facing multiple child sexual abuse charges after he was accused in February of raping a 13-year-old Saltville girl. In a criminal complaint filed in Smythe County Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court, the Saltville PD investigator Stephen McVeigh wrote that the report came in through Smythe County Dispatch from the girl's remote learning teacher on February 20th. The teacher told McVeigh that the girl told her she'd been raped the night before and she was scared. The girl said that she became ill after eating a bowl of cereal that 39-year-old Jonathan Albert Reynolds made for her the night before. The girl told McVeigh that she went to sleep and later woke up with Reynolds in bed beside her. According to the complaint, the girl's two younger siblings reported walking in on what they described to be Reynolds having sex with the 13-year-old while she slept. The girl also told McVeigh that one of her siblings told her Reynolds had put something in her food but wasn't sure what it was. McVeigh wrote in the complaint that Reynolds, who had carried a gun in his waistband, threatened to kill that girl and her siblings if they told anyone. The complaint goes on to detail another recent offense, including promised gifts in exchange for nude photos, groping and watching the girl undress. It also details Reynolds threatening to bomb the family's home and the home of the children's aunt, and in another incident in which Reynolds pulled the handgun out from his waistband and told the children's mother he didn't care anymore. Taken into custody that day, Reynolds is charged with the aggravated sexual battery of a 13-year-old child, carnal knowledge of a child, object sexual penetration by force, possession of child sexual abuse materials, assault and battery, threatening to bomb or burn a dwelling, brandishing a firearm, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Phew! Reynolds is evil. He's being held at the Southwest Virginia Regional Jail Authority in Abington. You belong under that son of a gun, you freaking chomo. Just a small bit of news here. This comes from Wisconsin. The 45-year-old Waushara County man accused of multiple sexual assaults on children was back in court Wednesday for a little small status conference. Court records show that this chomo, Adam Henning, he appeared in the Waushara County Courthouse with his attorney, where a plea hearing and a sentencing hearing was scheduled. So he obviously pled guilty. Henning's plea and sentencing hearing are scheduled for April 3rd at 11 in the morning. And you can be sure that I'll be posting those results right here on the Sex Offender Hit List. See you then, chomo. Abilene, Texas. A 20-year-old man is among the 47 arrests made during a multi-agency statewide operation for crimes against children. The Abilene Police Department's cybercrimes assisted in the Operation Janus, which resulted in the arrests, including this guy right here. This is 20-year-old chomo Adrian Alvarez Dominguez. He is charged with second-degree felony possession with intent to promote child sexual abuse materials. See ya, chomo.
Bryden, you're right. It's a step in the right direction.
Happy birthday, dear Ellie.
Now, Ellie, remember, this is our special secret.
Okay, Uncle Jim.
1 in 5 children is sexually abused before they turn 18.
Make a wish, but remember, it's a secret.
Do you know the signs?
I just want everyone to go home.
Learn more about the risks of child sexual abuse at sapria.org.
Where boy Brighton at? Where my boy Brighton? Listen, y'all don't see Brighton in the building right now. Y'all know where Brighton at.